So my client just dropped off this beat up old Gibson case claiming that inside is a 1954 Les Paul Goldtop. If that's true, then this is one historic guitar. Seriously, the first year that Gibson came out with a wraparound tailpiece. This also would be a pretty expensive guitar. However, if it's not a 1954 Goldtop that my customer thought it would be, then we're looking at a costly mistake. But luckily, today, we are going to do a full forensic deep dive of this guitar. Check out every component, every aspect, look at historical records, do some research, and decide for ourselves, is this actually a 1954 Goldtop, or is it something else? So, I guess the first step is, let's open up this case. Oh boy. All right. We are in for a treat. This is gonna be a fun one. Yeah, the guitar's gold. I'll give you that. It's it appears to be a Gibson, so we're on the right track. It's got P90s, and it's got some other stuff. Ooh-wee. All right, this is gonna be a fun one. Let's take a look at this guitar together and decide, do we have a 1954 Goldtop, or is this some other guitar that we're gonna take a look. Let's go. Well then, this is quite the discovery. If this is indeed a 1954 Les Paul Goldtop, it is not a collector grade 1954 Les Paul Goldtop. It has seen some stuff. It's been played hard, it's been modified hard, and so I guess for the rest of this video we try to figure out what on earth happened to this thing. I'd also like to know if it is indeed a 1954 or what year it is. And so we're going to kind of look at some of the things going on with this guitar and see if we can find any clues. So first off, these pickups, they are P90s, which is a good sign for a 54. The covers are off, they are completely exposed. When I do work on this, yeah, you can see the wire on the side, the coils. I'm going to have to be very delicate. One wrong move and these, potentially 70-year-old pickups are shot, if they're not shot already. So we're gonna have to be careful with those. The knobs, although they are speed knobs, which is authentic for 1954, they look pretty new. The numbers on them look pretty defined, so I'm gonna guess that these are not original. Going back to the pickups, these rings, if it is a 1954, are not original. These aren't even screwed on. They might be homemade. The most interesting thing going on here is this bridge. I have never seen anything like this. It's clear that it's not an original 1954 because it is a compensated wraparound. But the crazy thing with this is inside the ridges or the compensation on the saddles, somebody grinded out or chiseled out or filed out. They filed out some slots, and in those slots they put what appears to be and what has to be some string ball ends and used it almost as if they were roller saddles. It's not a bad modification. They're doing their job. Seems really solid. They're not going anywhere. This might have been done in the 70s and it's just a really old modification. But that's definitely a new one for me. Going along with that, if you look here closely, see all this little green right there? That's clearly where we had a Bigsby of sorts, which makes sense as to why they wanted rollers on there. The thing that I like to see is if you look where the Bigsby is and between the knobs here, you can see this green color on the Goldtop. That's a good sign because in the 50s, Gibson used a bronze flaked paint that was heavy with copper, and that copper, that led to green oxidation. And so that's a good sign for this being an old guitar. The headstock is also a good sign for being an old guitar. The script of Gibson, that looks as it should. The fact that it says Les Paul model, that looks as it should. Obviously, we have some modern tuners on there, which are not authentic. And then the crazy part here is if it's a 1954, I'm looking for an ink stamp serial number starting with 4. I don't have any serial number. And actually that is a good sign, because if I take a look at this guitar, at some point in its well-played career, it fell victim to the Gibson headstock snap. They did a really nice job with it. So this repair, if it weren't for the plugs, it might have taken me a moment to see. If you take a look at it, it's just a really faint line where the two pieces came together. They put some plugs in there to make sure that it was stable. It feels really stable. They also sanded the neck down quite a bit, and in doing so, they added a different type of finish on it, and so you get almost this two-tone neck, which is really neat. But if this was indeed a 1954, and this was simply an ink-stamped serial number, then any sanding for the headstock repair to make it look pretty would take that number right off. That's a good sign that this may indeed be a very old Gibson Goldtop. Okay, so inside this cavity is going to show us what we really need to see. What I'm looking for are specific pots in here, a tiered control cavity, the mahogany to be cut all the way through, and then to have like some wavy or tiered sections around where the maple meets. Pickup wiring to be the classic metal braided. I'm excited. Let us take a look inside. Okay, the wiring is 100% not original. Maybe some of that pickup wire, I'm seeing some modern plastic coated wire. And I mean, I would like to say that these pots have been untouched, but they have definitely been touched and soldered and messed up. And even crazier, this guitar has 4 pots and the current wiring is using one of them. So it looks like everything, I do mean everything, is going to the neck volume pot and then out to the jack. So those other pots just not needed for this. If this is a 1954, it's been heavily modified. If you look in here, I am seeing the steps, so that's the good sign. So I can see the mahogany is carved all the way through, and then I have that tiered maple top. I don't even know. Ooh, okay. If you go back to our headstock repair, inside here, which I'll try to get an angle for it, I have a pencil writing of 6784557, which my guess is a serial number written down inside this cavity as whoever did this repair sanded off the serial number at the top. Okay, had a moment to look into some things, so let's chat about what we saw in this cavity. I was hoping to see a stepped cavity, which I did. I saw the tiered maple to mahogany control cavity, which checks out for 1954. The other things that I saw tells me it's not a 1954. Let's start with the serial number, 678457. Unfortunately, that puts this guitar at 1970, 1971, or 1972. That means that we almost certainly do not, unfortunately, have a 1954 Goldtop. However, let's take a little bit of a closer look, because I was able to stumble upon what we do have. And it's arguably just as rare, arguably more rare. Look back at these pots here. I was hoping to see 1, 3, 4 followed by a 4 or 5, which would denote that it was a Central Lab pot that Gibson used in the mid-50s, and it was from either the year 1954 or the year 1955, depending on when exactly this was made. However, instead, I saw a 137 followed by 4 other digits, so a 7-digit pot. And that leads us straight to the next 2 digits. So it's 13771. Now that 71 denotes the year that this guitar was made, which checks out with the serial number. So we're on to a good start. We have a 1971 guitar based on the serial number and based on the pots. However, we have a 1950s guitar based on the fact that I have a step here in the cavity, based on the fact that at this point, Gibson would have been using a 3-piece neck in the Northern era. At this point in the Northern area, Gibson would have been using a 3-piece neck. And if you take a look at here, this is definitely a 1-piece neck. And then secondly, the most defining feature of the Northern era would have been the pancake bodies. So you had mahogany, a thin piece of maple, and then mahogany. And if you look here on the side, there's no pancake. Even if you look inside the cavity, it would be obvious where the maple is sandwiched between the mahogany it ain't there. Which brings us to what this is. This right here is Gibson's first ever reissue. This is a 58 standard released in 1971 from Gibson. Despite being called a 58 standard, this Les Paul was intended to be a perfect replica of the 1954 Les Paul Goldtop. Hence, why we thought it was 1954 Les Paul Goldtop. This is an incredibly rare guitar. Incredibly. In 1970, 71, and 72, Gibson only pumped out just over 1,000 of these. But it continues. I'll get into the cavity or the pickups themselves, but what I want to show you here is look at these pickup rings going around the edge of the pickup. These should not be here. In the Nolan era, Gibson was using machinery to put mini humbuckers into their Les Pauls, and so all the jigs were set up for mini humbuckers. In 1970 and 71, when they started coming out with this first ever reissue to replicate a 1954 Les Paul, they needed P90s in there. And so they were not using the jigs they had set up for the mini humbuckers. And that being said, they had to manually route. And when you do things manually, there's always a chance of error. These were factory installed hoof rings because whoever was doing this single guitar happened to make a mistake. And it was much easier to cover it up rather than ruin this wonderful old body. But the real question is, these very exposed, very delicate pickups, are they original? Let's take a look. Come on.